Hey, on this episode, we talked to Julee Patterson out of Sacramento. Julee is a light amidst her tragedy. About 6 months ago, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And the fact that she's even willing to hop on a show is pretty telling. But what she says on this episode, I think everyone needs to hear. It's entitled Words Matter. And it comes from this concept where she had two people deliver the same news. She got a second opinion on this terrible news. The first one had terrible bedside manner, and the second one said the same thing, but said it in a way that made her feel like she had a chance to actually impact the results, and there was hope. And if you know anything about me, anything about real producers, there's a lot of clickbait stuff out here in terms of the sky is falling, residential real estate, do we need realtors, all this stuff that we hear constantly in real estate. And if you look beyond that in light of what's going on in people's lives, in my opinion, hope is the number one thing we should be bringing to ourselves and other people. I believe this episode has a lot of hope thanks to Julee. I'm your host, Remington Ramsey. We appreciate you sharing all of these episodes. It is growing. We had our biggest month yet, and it's because you guys are sharing the show, and it's because of amazing guests like Julee Patterson. Julee, welcome to the show. I am very excited to talk to you. And before I ask you any questions, I just want to let everyone know that it seems like lately there have been ebbs and flows of certain things that we are talking about and certain the threads, and the thread lately is showing up amidst trauma and tragedy. And I think that just in the short time that I've known you and everyone in Sacramento and our team here at Real Producers just fallen in love with you and your story. Today we're going to be getting into some heavy topics. There's already been tears in the pre-show, so just be ready for that. But the beautiful thing about Julee and the beautiful thing about Real Producers that we are aligned in is the hope. And I hope you guys grab that from this show. But Julee, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always such an honor to be here. I'm grateful to be part of the Real Producers community, and our local group that we have here is truly amazing. And now I'm also being able to experience the people on a national level, and you guys have all been great too.
Well, Julee's been a realtor for 20 years, was in the first issue that we ever dropped out there in Sacramento with Katie, and was given some news about 6 months ago that changed her life. And I'll let you share the story, Julee.
Well, I was diagnosed with a rare aggressive cancer. I am stage 4. I also learned that, in this process, all cancers are awful. It sucks. All kinds do. The rare aggressive kind tend to be exceptionally crappy for a lot of different reasons, but unfortunately, that's where I landed myself. I have retroperitoneal leiomyosarcoma, so that's a mouthful, I know. And it's been a rough few months. I had a big surgery in January down in San Francisco, and I had at that time a large tumor that had engulfed my ureter, which is the tube that connects your kidney to your bladder. And they were able to kind of do some reconstruction and get some things taken in there. But at the same process, I got some nerve damage on my leg, and I came out of that not able to walk. And then I landed myself back in the hospital up here locally after that. And it's just been a fight kind of ever since. I recently had a liver procedure done, and right now we don't see any active tumors that we see right now. So for that, right now, I'm super grateful. But they gave me 18 to 24 months to live with the expectancy of 5 years to be less than 5%. So it was some pretty rough news, to say the least.
Julee, you're a fighter, and you're doing it with a smile. I just can't. I can't bring enough attention to like your attitude through this whole thing. It's powerful. And there's 3 things I want to talk about on the show that you have learned through this process just in the last 6 months of fighting and showing up every day. Because in real estate, it's not like you're taking a leave and not clocking in the hourly. Like, this business still runs whether you show up or not, and it affects you and the people around you. And so you have learned some things that I have now learned through you. And the first one that I want to tackle is this phrase that you don't agree with, or that you have changed, that you only live once. So what's your new take on that phrase?
That you only die once and you get to live every single day. And you get to choose how you're going to live your life. And so instead of that, oh, you only live once, just like every day that you wake up, live your best life, live your life to the fullest, do things that matter, tell people you love them, do the things. Because you die once.
Well, you were talking about like, so obviously stage 4 cancer seems to trump every other thing in terms of like what's going on in people's lives. And you're thinking, okay, I'm helping people buy a house. That's a little, you would say that's like trivial compared to stage 4 cancer, but your take on it was, I'm going to focus on that. I want to focus on helping people. I want to focus on their biggest decision. And regardless of what's going on in my life, it gives me purpose. It gives me something to be excited to help other people with.
We didn't talk about this before, but I wear this key. So most people around me that know me, I've worn this key pretty much every day, except for the brief few times that I've lost it. And I, for a while, was thinking after my son left for college that what we did as real estate agents was not impactful, that this wasn't an important job. And it wasn't something that was like, it didn't really matter. Like I wasn't like a teacher or some sort of, like somewhere in molding children's lives or whatnot. And a girlfriend reminded me that we get to make people's dreams come true. So on my key, it says dream. And I've worn this because really what we do, it is impactful. It is a really important job. We have people at any given point. I understand that real estate is not life or death. I fully understand that. It is not, the decisions that they're making isn't something like cancer, clearly not. But how we talk to our clients in the moment that they're buying a house, it is the biggest deal. It's a huge deal in their life. And hopefully they don't ever have to deal with something as heavy as cancer to be able to, I wish that on no one. So the biggest thing for them is that home buying experience. They're moving where their children sleep. It is such a big, powerful thing in their life. And what I have learned through this journey, I had that one oncologist, that first guy that told me I have 18 to 24 months to live, right? And he was just so flat about it. And it was so matter of fact. Then I had another doctor that was like, listen, Julie, you've got a really crappy cancer. This is a hard one, and the odds are stacked against you. But we're going to do everything that we can to save your life. That's the same news. That's the exact same news that the first guy gave me, right? Yes, I have a crappy cancer. I do not have good odds. None of it matters. But they're going to do everything they can to save me, right? How I felt, the difference of how I felt from using words, I think of it like we have a client that gets a repair request and it's, a mile long and there's all these things. We can be like, yep, it's got termites. Yep, it's got this, whatever the bad thing that it has, right? But if we can change our words and be like, you know what, we've got some doozy things here, but we can tackle this together. We're going to figure this out for you. If you're here for the long haul, I'm here to help you figure it out. And coming from a solution-based mindset, rather than this just like, well, here it is. Like our clients deserve more. And I've also learned how important it is to be able to give our clients certainty, because again, I realize cancer and home buying is not exactly on the same playing field, but it is a big deal. And uncertainty is definitely anxiety. So like when I don't know what's happening, yes, it's bad to hear I have another tumor that's growing in my liver, or yes, that sucks. That's awful news. But once I know it's there and I know what to expect and how I can move forward, man, that makes a difference in how my mental state is and how I can show up in the world, because I have some level of certainty. And so whatever we can do to be able to educate and help our clients so that they're able to have some certainty, we can definitely lessen a really nerve-wracking, anxious situation just by being able to educate them and explain things.
Well, this is what makes you exceptional, Julie. You're given terrible news from someone who delivers it very poorly. Then you get a second opinion from someone who, again, gives you the same news, but in a completely different way. And what you take from that is a lesson that you then apply to your business immediately to impact the people around you. And that's what makes you exceptional. It's no wonder you've been so successful in real estate and growing a team and growing the business, because you're attracting people around you. I guarantee people who are like thinking about the day that they're having and the rough inspection report that they get back, getting it from you and seeing how positive you are through this, awful bout with cancer that you're going through, gives them a reason to like think differently about themselves and the reactions to the things going on around them. And so what you said is words matter. And that's like such a powerful perspective to have. What have you seen in the conversations that you're having with other people around since having that revelation with the second oncologist and realizing that can you actually like see it when you're having the conversations, like I need to say it this way so they really feel taken care of?
I do. And I pause. I often pause and I think about it. My husband used to drive me bananas because he's a quick thinker, but not a quick talker, right? Like I would just be immediately, here it is, and speak. Or my husband will pause and think about it and then speak. And he rarely says things he wishes he could take back, right? Because he's thought about it and given pause. So I've been trying to do more of that. I've also found, I did a post on social media, which probably my family does not love, that I wear my heart on my sleeve and I put it all out there, good, bad, the ugly, all the things end up on social media. And I talked about how what you ask people and what you say to someone going through something like cancer, how that makes the other person feel. Because some of the things that I've been said, first of all, some small questions can end up being really hard to answer. How are you? I'm terrible. I want to cry 24/7. Like that's what nobody wants to hear that either. So I come up with things like, oh, I'm hanging in there, or I'm doing okay, or whatever, because those words matter.
Here you are trying to take care of them when you're the one that needs to be taken care of. I'm interested. I'm glad you're talking about this. So coach me on like when you're going through this and someone's trying to be there for you, but saying the wrong things. This happened to me at a very early age. There was my grandfather died, and my dad did the funeral, and he did a great job, but I was a mess. And my other grandfather at the time, who just didn't know what to say to me, came up and be like, "Are you going to do this for your dad?" And I was like, it just wrecked me, like the question, because it was coming from a place. I mean, people just don't know what to say. And so I'm glad you brought this up. I'm curious, like what do you wish people said?
I don't know what to say, but I care about you and I'm thinking of you. That is better than any like bogus thing that you can come up with. So, you should never say things like cancer is a gift. I've been told that many times. I've been asked, am I terminal?
And these are strangers or these are friends? Like
some strangers, some loose friends. I will also say, I love the saying about you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So if someone is close to me and we're tight, they could say the wrong thing and I'm probably not going to take it because I know their heart, right? But like a loose friend, like a D level friend, that sounds terrible, but like the ones that you don't speak to really, when they say things, sometimes it really is harsh and stings. And I really wish people would just say, I really don't know what to say, but your situation has impacted me and I'm thinking of you and I care about you. Then that would be fantastic.
Well, it's interesting. We were talking in the pre-show about your faith through all this, because that's been everyone's on their own faith journey. You've had some pretty crazy things happen since December, and I'm just curious. I mean, what do you feel comfortable sharing about your faith journey?
I'm comfortable sharing it all. I'm definitely. I told you I'm an open book. I don't know where my faith was prior to this. Like I definitely believed in God and I believed in a higher power, but what that looked like, I wasn't really sure. I do have always tried to live my life in a Christ-like manner. I don't always succeed by any stretch, but I try to be a good person and a good human. But as far as like my relationship with God, I don't know where that stood before this. it was kind of loose. Um, and I've had multiple situations recently where strangers just have come up and prayed for me that I was not expecting. And I had a couple of really profound experiences with that really ignited my faith. I've been going to church again and praying all the time in my car, in the shower, all the time. Like I'm trying to have a relationship with God again. And that's a heavy. So I've said it prayers. Now I'm going to get teared up, but I'm so grateful that people care enough about me to pray for me themselves, because that's so powerful.
Yeah, that's the takeaway if I'm listening to this. Because the transition from the last conversation, what not to say, the title of this could be what not to say and what to say. And I mean, can I pray for you? And thinking of someone else enough to do it. It could be an awkward conversation. It could, I mean, for whatever reason, we've made it awkward. I don't think it is awkward, but it's meant a lot to you. And maybe that's different for others. But for you, it's made an impact, and I think that's special.
I think when I get a lot of ambiguous, I'll pray for you, right? Or saying prayers, whatever. I've been thinking about that a lot. And it would be really impactful if someone said, what specifically can I pray for you? Like, are we praying for clear scans? Are we praying for peace? Are we praying for no pain? Are we praying for, because I think that now we have a personal reason. We're not just saying, oh, please, what are the prayers for? So I think if you're going kind of a little bit back about what to say to someone, if what your initial go-to is, oh, I'll keep you in my prayers, maybe take it a step further and ask the person, what can I pray for? How can I pray for you?
That's an answer that I'm sure changes. And that's showing that you care about someone and meeting them where they're at there. Because saying I'll pray for you is not nothing. And I'm sure there are people, and I know I've said that, and I meant it, and I usually try to do it right then and there, because I know we get busy and then I feel like trash for not doing it later, even though I said I would. But the next level is really digging in with someone to find out where their head is at and what they particularly would like prayer for. So I think that's a solid question. Your outlook on this, as I've said early on in the show, is just amazing, and you're bringing hope to so many around you amidst the pain. To bring it back to real estate, what I think is fascinating is that you have found a way to still thrive in real estate because of the team you built, because of the systems that you built. And it's a really interesting take on that, because this is something we talk about. We talk about teams and building systems all the time on this show. I mean, real estate, like it's a buzzword, and it always will be. Are you building the team? Are you building the systems? And a million other things that have to do with real estate. Your perspective on this is at an all-time high, because you've been in positions where you can't go to the thing and you're out of commission for a little while. So tell me about this journey that you've had, and the gratitude you have for the systems and teams that you've built.
It's immense. I have one of the best things I say all the time, we're better together. I have a team, we're an all-female team. It just ended up being that way. That wasn't designed. It wasn't set out to be an all-female team. That's just how it is. It is so supportive. It's a great supportive group of women, and that theory of being better together reigns true. And I used to think all the time that, like, kind of nobody, I think a lot of people that are high level producers, they think nobody can do it better than me. Like I've got this team and I'm the one, right? I feel like in high level real estate, that's a common thread. I mean, I see that amongst my peers a lot. And the reality is they all can do a great job. It is not true. It is not true that the job can only be done by us. That is absolutely false. And having the right people in place to be able to help. The great thing about my situation, if there is a great thing, is I got to kind of test the theory. So I thought my business could run well without me. That was the hope. You set your business up so that you can run without you, but you're still there doing it. So you never get to tell. You never get to actually see if it will still be successful and if people will do the things and the things will work even in your absence. And that was a little bit the beauty of this, is that I did get to test the theory. I had the right systems in place. I had the right people in place. I had the right team to be able to continue on and being able to serve people. I believe with all my core that we should be serving people and not selling to them. And so being able to have people that consistently are able to serve the community and help people without me being involved every single day, all the time. I mean, I'm still involved, but definitely not to the level that I was. I physically couldn't be. And they're still doing the things. I've had some girls that have still had some of the best months yet. And I kind of like, I'm shocked that I've had new people join the team even since my diagnosis. And I sit back and I think, wow, that's really powerful, because that's saying a lot about that they're here for the team. They're here for the whole environment, not just for me, because I'm not here. I'm not able to even give much of myself right now. And so the fact that people are still joining and wanting to be a part of this community that we've built, and this, strong group of supportive women, I am just so incredibly proud of them and humbled and grateful. My business and life has still been able to continue on without me being there physically doing the work every single day.
It's an amazing outlook. I love it, and I love the support and the team that you've built. I'm excited to meet you guys in September. Tell me, we've been doing a lot of events as of late in the local markets and the national markets, and we've been giving most of the dollars that we raise past the break even, like all the proceeds, to fight human trafficking. That's what our initiative have been, not only through Real Producers, but our parent company into the N2 companies. And so we did an event last night, and we particularly have, I met Tim Tebow back in March, I think, and we partnered with him on a couple of events to fight human trafficking through the Tebow Foundation. And I was watching Tim, who's speaking on a regular basis. I mean, if you follow his stuff on Instagram or Facebook, it's heavy. I mean, it's constantly heavy, and he's always talking about it. And I meant to ask him, what do you do to get away from this subject a little bit, to have some a break from how evil that thing is? And so I'm thinking, as I'm talking to you, I'm thinking, you're such an uplifting person. You've got such a great outlook. I'd have to think that you have a little bit of an escape, either in reading or movies or just the people that you're hanging out with. When you just want to escape and just enjoy like an ice cream cone, what do you find yourself doing?
I am a Gen Xer in my bird watching era. I have.
Oh no.
I want to take my credit card away, because I am buying all these video bird watching feeders. I am so into the birds right now. There's an app called Merlin that it's free. You can turn it on and it listens to the birds and it tells you what they are by their calls. I've got AI to be able to tell me what the birds are. It's so fun.
So why are you into it? This is I'm new to this whole thing, and I understand people do it, but educate me, like I've never heard of this concept before, because I really don't. Like, what is so exciting about the birds?
I don't know. It's peaceful. They're peaceful. The sounds, the calls, and the songs that they interact. They're kind of fun to watch them interacting. I started a new Instagram. I'm going to say this, there's 4 followers. I mean, so it's definitely not a big, it's more for my own enjoyment. It's Beaks and Beats. That's my new Instagram. And so I'm putting it 90s hip hop, the songs, and it's just funny. And I'm having a good time. It's it gets me out of my space for a minute, and it's fun. There's nothing particularly exciting about it, but if I find a new species, I'm really excited. Remember when people would collect Pokemon cards or something? It feels a bit like that. I'm oh, I got a rare one, and it's funny and very old lady, and it's but it's fun. I wear an aura ring, and it's often while I'm watching birds, I'm in a restored, relaxed state while I'm sitting there, watching the birds.
That's great. I love it. So what was that Instagram handle?
Beaks_N_Beaks. Beaks, they're.
So you shoot videos of birds and then put it to hip hop.
Yeah, it's pretty corny, but I'm loving every second of it, and it's super fun. So, yeah.
We have a pretty big audience, and we have a lot of different nationalities, a lot of different faiths, and just different people around the world, and we respect all of them. In this case, we're talking to you, and I'm curious if I'm listening to this, and I want to know how I can pray for Julee in this moment. How can we pray for you?
I'm going to pray that I have as long as possible, as healthy as possible, and that I get to beat the odds. And see, I told you, now I'm going to have tears, kid. I have a blood test today to test my circulating tumor DNA, and I'm praying that that number is down and low, and that I don't have to do systemic treatment because I'm going to be clear for 5 or 10 more years. That would be absolutely amazing. So that's what I'm hoping for right now. My type of cancer isn't a type that is cured. It's an incurable cancer. So I'm not praying for that, but I'm praying for as many years as I possibly can have to keep doing the things I love with the people I love. So
You mentioned the Real Producers community, Julee, and you are definitely a light in that community, and we hope to see you in September and hang out nationally. And I appreciate you being on the show and sharing hope and sharing your story.
thank you for having me. You guys are all amazing. So I'm super grateful.
This has been, again, a heavy topic, but I think that Julee is just, like I said, bringing hope to anyone who's dealing with any type of trauma or tragedy. And I do hope that if you heard anything worth sharing with others, that you would pick one person to share that episode with now. And we'll see you next time. Thanks again, Julee.